Hey there, it's 𝗕𝗹𝗵. I know, this is not what I was expecting to do either. If I'm shocking you, shocking myself too. A lot has happened. I just turned on the TV. I don't put it on very often, unless it's for the boys, and they're anticipating the birds now, of course. Pluto doesn't usually automatically load something. It asks me what direction I should go, and it loaded The Matrix first thing. So bizarre. It was the part with Kamala, the girl that was the daughter to Camilla at the train station. And I can't remember, I think this is the third film. Don't remember. Anyways, I was here initially to talk to you, the listener, about what's in the news, what's going on right now in the news, and how it relates to the past, to the future, to the now, right? How it all connects, right? And some things we need to be aware of, be concerned about, but also to see things and how it's painted before our very eyes. But the Matrix showing up like this is no shock, really. But what is the architect trying to talk to me? Is there something outside of myself that is part of the system that is trying to give me a message here? That's what I'm trying to see here. So I am here live with you. I don't know if you're here listening, but thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, whoever is here. This is an adult only. Of course, they all are. I have shaken the headache from the sodium. I had potato chips over the last holiday, and I should not have. I knew that that would trigger something in me because I am sensitive to things. The fireworks and the G fire are prevalent around me as of late, so you know this because I've told you this before probably. So if you hear them in the background, just don't be surprised. That is the TV you hear now. Mobile Avenue, he's at the train station now, Neo is. And I'm trying to remember the girl's name that was Kamala's daughter. Has anybody seen this film that I'm watching now, Matrix? Hey, Seeker7, how have you been? Jeffrey, how are you? I have some heavy news that I wanted to share, but I think it's code. I think that there's a lot of code to everything. Not the Matrix popping on my television. I think it's not supposed to be frightened. It's the system is trying to implode upon itself. You know, the idea in you're doing well. You're number one, by the way. Thank you so much for being here and being supportive. I appreciate you so much. I did 2 live streams that were at very weird times, and you probably couldn't have made those, but they were interesting live streams. I had the crow visit too. So today I ate a massive quantity of broccoli, so I'm trying to get myself feeling right, but I'm kind of wondering if it was not a physical manifestation of my diet as opposed to I had jet lag hit me in the sensory or the word, you know, jet lag. It come to me. Somebody is in jet lag mode right now. So I think I am actually walking in someone else's experience. So I think I'm picking up on things that are outside myself. I don't know what. I also heard Texas Senator, I think I told everyone over at the comment area, or the not comment area, what do you call that? The community board. I think I mentioned something about that. And so I think Ted Cruz is the one, and he was not in town, and they did some kind of a cremation ceremony that is supposed to be effigy, which you know as well as I do that nothing is pretend. But now he says, I'm your God. Yeah, so right now we are definitely in spiritual warfare, but it's like the Matrix is saying, listen, this is just a program. It's just a program. That's what we're getting right now. Have there been any more windstorms around you? Has Nevada been pretty calm? The news that I wanted to share, it went to commercial, was, okay, there's 2 things. One, if you've lived long enough or you're a fan of Spike Lee, you know of a film called New Jack City. Hey Lola, how are you? Good to see you too. Hey Alexandra's Music, how are you doing? New Jack City was a 1991 film. Spike Lee put it out with a stellar cast way, way back, and that's a mirror year, 1991. And ultimately, 2 days ago, there was a new drug, apparently in Baltimore. Hey Crumbly FN, how are you doing? And apparently, there was you can like type it into your YouTube search. There was an overdose of like a couple dozen people. I don't know anything about it, but it's named after the film New Jack City. Now, I thought that was bizarre. The other thing is I've been trying not to look at the alligator A thing in Florida. I've been trying not to look at the cases because it really gets me, say, in a certain kind of sad place, right? Or even angry, okay, sad and angry, okay, because it doesn't seem right to me. But the Matrix popping in there, it is part of the program. Okay, so ultimately there is suffering probably going on, but it's part of the program. So I don't know if we're being lied to. Maybe there are actors. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that it's not happening. I'm just saying that maybe there's more to the story than we know. And I'm very sorry for anyone who has been taken and any of these atrocities that are going on. If any of this is at value of what we're seeing, if everything is reality that we're seeing, I feel very bad for everyone, and my heart goes out to everyone involved that are on the good side of this, the ones that are being victimized as we speak right now. But here's the other news. So I got the video of this man who is a solar, and he was driving his car back. He's a journalist, I guess. He was driving his car back from going there to visit, and it immediately made me want to cry just listening to him talking, because he said that most of the people look like himself. In other words, they are targeting people, right? And I was just taken aback by the things I've heard, the water, the food, the conditions. It's horrifying, okay? And that's to say it lightly, okay? It is horrifying. So ultimately, I was looking at some of the codes that I was getting. Then I'm absolutely floored at how any of this could happen. And this is what I wanted to say. I keep on getting censored. I just want to put this out there so that if anybody doesn't have knowledge of history, that World War II, there was a little man with a mustache who did the same thing over there in Germany. Hey, Alexandra's Music, how are you doing? And at that time, there was victimization. There were concentration camps all over. But what we didn't know was America was not dispatched to go over and help until later. America did not put boots on the ground to help get this ended over there before a lot of damage taken place and years had passed. I'm pretty good. Thank you so much. Have you been subscribed here? You are 18, right? Or at least? And I didn't change the name. Apparently it says Fire Queen. That is the old name of the channel. So in case you wonder why it's titled that, I have to change the name here. I have to type it out when I get a chance. So as I said, the Matrix was just on. It just like popped right on. And I'm going to put us on to subscribers only just to be sure that we have people that are of age that come through. So you have a chance. I'll be here for a little bit. And so if anybody was here who wasn't subscribed, please do subscribe. It's free. There is no charge here. But you have to be 18 and over. That's all. So anyways, the Matrix is playing right now. Trinity is right now kicking, you know what? She's upside down and we are in the upside down. I think the idea of them being on the ceilings where they're hanging upside down, they're walking like with their feet on the ceiling and they're hanging upside down like bats, right? I think that was to kind of give an homage to the fact that we were going to flip. We are on the upside down, and they were showing it in the film. Anyway, going back to World War II. Okay, I hope I'm not too loud because I am holding the phone. I'm going to probably put it down at a moment. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Let me see here. I need to find a safe place for it so it won't fall. And we are not anything but audio, so please don't worry about the screen. You can just listen, close your eyes, whatever, drive, whatever it is you're doing. So yeah, if you can hear me, let me know, because I'm not like right by the phone now that I'm not holding it. It's hard on the hands. I had to let it go, so hopefully you can hear me. So in World War II, we had the little mustache who was doing the things, and America, we had the full capability, we had the power, we had the know-how, we had the strength, we had the might and the people. We could have sent people over there way earlier than we did. But if you know about history, there were some tycoons that were, I don't know if it was Rockefellers, I couldn't tell you the names right now. There were some tycoons who actually were making more money. If you know how it works, long old time money, they always said, especially like the Republican and the conservative side, old money, right? They always said war is where their money is made, right? They made money. They're about capitalizing on the end of lives. And that is where a lot of those people you would deem as Illuminati or the tycoons, the people who we think of old day monopoly brothers kind of stuff, right? They own the world. They own the companies. They own the properties. They stole. If they didn't own it somehow, they stole it somehow. Anyways, long story short, we could have stopped things in America. So not only is America dealing with her karma because of what she did. When I say she, I mean the European people coming over here and invading a colony which was already inhabited by, if you believe the story we were given anyway, by the Native Americans, which are actually, those people who are Native Americans are actually what you would consider the Mexicans. Many of them, Aztec, these areas spread out, these southern regions of the brown skin regions, they're all what you could consider Mexico, and the lower portions of the new America, right? Lower beyond Canada, right? So what I'm trying to say is they stole the land. They totally bamboozled and tried to act like they were friendly. And then they started to encamp and end and enslave and do terrible things to the Native Americans. If you believe the stories we were given, which I do believe by looking at things today, yes, I do believe it. And looking back at the history we've been given, some of us have been ridiculously kept in the dark on history. There are some people who dispute the whole idea of mud floods. There's stuff there to learn too. But there is a lot about our history that is in question. Now, we have the slave trade that happened here. America had old blood, okay, if you will, the people with money who thought they were something. We had our Civil War because we wanted to free the solar people. We didn't want to be slave owners. And this thing that happened in America is another karmic thing that we would have to deal with. We would have to walk through the trials of fire for the deeds that we did prior. Those of us that are lunar are paying those prices in some way or another, be it our karma has been collected by our ancestors, even if we were innocent and we didn't lift a hand, some way we were guilty, some way, right? I'm not saying that it seems fair or it's right, but it is kind of a karmic thing. But no man, no woman, no child, no person, no being should have to be enslaved by another. That is an atrocity into itself. So going back to now, so we're repeating this. America is right now doing this again. We're doing it again. Only thing is that people I see in the comment areas are crying, why isn't anybody here to help us? And I've been saying this all along too, but also I know history and how the part I've read, and I believe resonates with me, that the wealthy are the ones pulling the strings. And if so, in this program, this matrix we live in right here, right? This is part of the sacrifice. They can become really wealthy as they are, okay? So we have other countries that would help us, would come in and help us, but they will not. They will not. Why? Because somebody is capitalizing. Somebodies are capitalizing. There are more oligarchs in this world than we know. So someone is capitalizing. Also, if you ever followed the David Icke stories, you understand the reptilians. If you've done any biblical research, you know, there's other characters, names, etc., beings that we talk about, we think about when we say this reptilian business, right? The alligators, you know, you think about this, right? Alligators are a reptile, right? So I think it's very ironic how we have Florida, what is going on now. And that is the place that this person wants to be at, has lived at, loves, considers home. Okay. So what did I want to talk about? Well, I wanted to share the news about Baltimore. So they're trying to bring back stories from New Jack City. Chris Rock was in that. I think it was one of his first films. Maybe not. I don't know. But he was an informant. Okay, so the idea is that people that believed against voting for, now both sides are actually the same bird, left and right. It doesn't matter how you vote. Okay, I'm just going to say it. You don't have to agree. That's fine. You might come to terms with things when you do. But if you're in America, we were going to win it. We were going to win. We were going to lose this. And it was going to be where we are right now, despite it might have been a different story. It might have been frosted differently, you know, like the same cake with a different kind of slant to it. But I'm going to say Kamala was purposely not able to, okay, there's a lot of findings that she actually won, but she went along with the plan. She just kind of went away. She sipped on her drink, her cocktail, whatever it is they said she did, and she didn't argue it. It was part of the plan. It was part of the script. Right now, Neo and Trinity are kissing, and I'm watching a commercial. I'm pulling cards so that we can get the Wheel of Fortune. So we have a new spin right now, a new contract. Okay, so some people understand. I'm kind of jumping around because I've been all over lately. As I said, I wasn't feeling well, so I've been just kind of like dipping in where I feel needed to. So I have to restart my app. Just a second. My bandwidth. I'm gonna do some gematria. Anybody down for some gematria? Satan's Little Season. Has anyone heard of that? Satan's Little Season. Yeah. Try Fiber Go. Okay, biblically speaking, there is such a thing as Satan's Little Season. I have been getting my feet wet on learning about it a little bit, and I think it's biblically mentioned, but if you've listened to me prior, I do not buy the first Bible in Christianity as being truly our creator, denoting himself as God. I believe for me, my core, and I am very attuned to the creator, but you don't have to agree, okay? Again, this is just for you to understand where I'm coming from. It is the devil / Lucifer portraying our creator, our God. And when Jesus comes in the Second Testament, I feel he was here to save us and to show us that he had to come in to the devil's playground, into a skin suit to try to rescue us. He come to show us. This is what I get, and this is from some of my earlier readings and understandings. Some of the things that I've come into over time have aligned to this, and there's a few people out there who are speaking about this as well. So I'm not alone when it comes to this. The thing is that if you have a real true creator, a real true God, would he have you sacrifice your own children? Would he have you pour blood on your building, your house? Would he have you do things that are so cruel, so mean, unhuman? Would he? Ask yourself, wouldn't a peaceful God, wouldn't a peaceful creator be the one that created you? Unless you're down for the carnal flesh, which I hope the people that are coming here are not. But unless you're for the evil that is walking, the wicked that is walking and doing the wicked things of now, that would be correlated to the first book. The second book, I'm not trying to be religious. I'm using this as a tool here because the Bible is actually a learning tool. It's a spiritual gift we were given, not a gift that we carry within us, but something to tangibly hold and read. And yes, they can mess with it, and they do, and they have. But I am not one of these people that believes that the first God is of a loving God or a true, authentic God. I believe that the 𝗕𝗹𝗵 / Lucifer, because he's supposed to be, like synonymous, it's both sides of himself, his shadow and his light side, right? When he fell from being Lucifer, he became the devil. This is his playground. We are in it. This is the matrix. We were caught in a web. We were caught, and that's why we're here.
Remember what you were like when you first walked through my door? Jittery as a June bug. And now just look at you.
Okay, so there is a channel on YouTube. I'm not going to ruin his video, but I'm going to direct you to it if you want to listen to it. Japan is supposed to be ripping open right now, and he goes by jwTV. Something just ripped the ocean open, and he says warning zones, Japan, near the Fukushima site. So that's news of recent too. I don't know how real reality, that is based, because some of the footage that I'm seeing, when I see things, people in China are speaking out and saying that is footage from China. China is actually in some kind of flooding devastation. We have North Carolina, we have Texas, and I am so sorry for anyone that's in any of these areas. I'm going to go back to my gematria. I want to share the gematria findings that I'm getting on some of the different topics that I've been putting through the gematria calculations. One is the girls that were taken, their lives were taken in the Camp Mystic flood, and I am so sorry for these families and for these girls that have lost their lives. And I kind of wonder, I ask myself, what if they weren't taken? What if they were taken in a trafficking scenario? The whole thing is very suspect to me. Very, but I think they might have found their bodies. I don't know. I am very sorry, regardless of whatever way this goes. I am not wanting anyone to be victimized. I do think we're right now in a time where the end is coming, or they want it to look that way. So I typed in a gematria Camp Mystic flood to see what we get, how it resonates, right? How does it vibrate on the same frequency level, right? Can you all hear me okay? And didn't Mr. T, the one who is sitting in office right now, who is corrupt as all get out, didn't he used to say, trust the plan? Or with the Q guy and all these other people who were involved with him, didn't he used to say, trust the plan? And by the way, thank you for those of you who care. I had to give that little note earlier about what was going on here, because trying to find a quiet place around here is not easy. And then with the outside noise on top of it, and then with my situation, like I said, and if you didn't catch me, I was dizzy. People, oh no. People get dizzy when they are sometimes jet lag. Sometimes they get dizzy. Sometimes there's like a sweaty feeling or anxiety, right? I was getting dizzy and feeling a certain kind of way, and then I heard jet lag 15 or so minutes after I recorded that little bit I did earlier. And so I don't know, it was actually me I was experiencing. So I just putting that out there in case you're someone who's flying. You might want to take anti-anxiety something before getting on a plane or something, so this doesn't happen. I don't know. Okay, so trust the plan, New World Order. And the number is 1044 in English gematria. And it says you'll find out. There's that whole F-A, F-O, F around and find out, We have November 6th. That's the day after Guy Fawkes Day, I think. November 6th. No, was that the 4th? Let me see what Guy Fawkes Day is. Just a second.
One way or another, this war is going to end. Tonight, the future of both worlds will be in your hands, or it is.
Okay. It's the day after. The day after the Guy Fawkes Day.
How are you feeling? Are you all right?
Am I audible? Does anyone hear me?
I need time.
Stormy Daniels. She was the adult film star who was involved with him on the first round. Number of the Beast. Luke Skywalker. Eye of the Storm. Optimus Prime. Baltimore Ravens. Now, I just talked about New Jack City. 2 dozen overdoses with the name New Jack City. You need to look it up to understand what I'm saying. But the film was in 1991, which was a mirror year. It's also 10-10, which is like saying, say 10, say 10. So he's like wanting to have his praise, right? We have Truth Justice, Ghislaine Maxwell. How is this going to equate? You see, this is not just some kind of a strange thing. And the other thing is, let me ask you, we are told to be quiet and cease our discussion of a file, of a list. And let me tell you something. If there was no need for that list, if there was no importance to the Epstein Island, then why is she in prison? Why did she go to prison? We need to keep demanding answers. The Little Mermaid. Currency reset. The Royal Secret. Lotto numbers. I'm not somebody who believes that Mr. Epstein is DEAD. I think that he's alive, but I don't know if he's alive because he had T's help. I kind of feel he is on the other side of T. T doesn't want to let either of those characters live, Ghislaine or the Jeffrey Epstein character.
Oh, wow. Chasing you is like chasing a goose. I have been before. It's true, but as you can see, things are...
Okay, 856 is the Hebrew number. And I'm only going for the English, though. It's 1044. Supreme Court.
Really?
The golden age of America. That is where we are now for the oligarchs. It is the dark ages for us. If you haven't learned anything yet, or you don't know or aren't aware, please type in and do some reading on Opus Dei. OPUSDEI. Opus Dei.
This summer, great pizza doesn't have to cost a fortune. Summer selects at Papa Murphy's are just $8.99 all summer long. Choose from select pepperoni, veggie, meat, and cheese on thin or original crust.
Okay, we have Laura Eisenhower. And I found that she and a lot of those new age people that I used to listen to are aligned with T. I don't know how they feel about him now. I've been paying attention over and over, but they don't seem to want to look at him in an unfavorable way. They think that he's good. They're totally blindsided. Now, if you know me, I was on the fence for a long time, so I listened to both sides. But I knew full well I did not have an interest in being part of either, that I have to go to the left side to get most of what I need to get as of now. But I am a middle leaner, and both sides have taken the goalpost too far to the right and left. I'm trying to turn it down. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Hey, Prob, how are you doing? An impromptu, that is what it is. How can you hear me okay? Okay, so the other term I was going to put in was Little Satan's season. No, Satan's little season. Yeah, one thing everyone should know about me is that you can never tell what I'm going to do. I might one day say I'm never going to do another video, and boom, you'll see me 5 minutes later. I mean, I am never. I'm unpredictable. Even I don't know from one minute to the next what I'm going to do. But yeah, it's not that I mean, it's just that I do things spontaneously, and then when I'm getting all these channels, it's hard to keep it to myself. So the team of Mr. Smiths are now here for the oracle. She's smoking her cigarette. She's showing them that she has her compuncture. She is not frightened by them at all. I'm happy to see you too. Okay, so as I said, I just now popped on the television and there it is, Matrix. Why did it have to show up then? And the scene, Mobil station, the train station, when he was talking to Camilla and her daughter. I don't know the daughter's name still. I forget. But she was an intricate player in the story later. So Satan's little season, the number for English is 1350. That's 1350. And it actually frequency relates with holographic universe, which is the Matrix. Holographic universe, which is where we're stuck. And then we have the 23rd card. Tarot doesn't go that far. So what does that mean? Could be the 5th. It could be the Hierophant. We have Mary Magdalene in the flesh, Yellowstone Caldera, Prophecies of the Bible Code, Who is Jesus Christ, which is Yeshua, but J is how they're spelling here. Revelation 6:6. Don't worry, be happy. Bobby McFerrin song from the 80s. Does anybody here know the work of 𝗪11? I'm jumping around. I was feeling like I needed to talk about the current events going on in the news. One was the terrible things going on that are kind of repeating, but they're a little more sinister than World War II over in Florida and all over our country. And how the wealthy are the ones perpetuating and spinning it, and how other nations won't come in and help because there's wealth to be had on the suffering, pain, and endings of lives. The other thing is that Baltimore, Maryland of the U.S. had 24 lives end over overdoses, and it was named after the DRUG used was named after New Jack City, a Spike Lee film from 1991. And the other topics are, I just turned the television on right when I started here, and it went on right away to The Matrix at a certain scene that I always seem to repeat getting stuck in, and that is the train man. And the train man says, "I'm your God now." And as I was saying previously, if you take both testaments, new and old, on God and what God had asked, forced, wanted upon his people, his children. The first was oppressive, mean, cruel. Sacrifice was requested and demanded. The second was peace and dignified treatment from Yeshua. And that was God in the flesh, right? They're not the same entity. So I'm speaking on that, but this is my perception. Nobody has to agree with me. It is my perception that the first one was we were stolen. Our souls were stolen, put in these meat suits, put in the 3D matrix, and we were told that God wanted us to do the bidding God wanted. However, when we got stolen and put here, many of us believed the Bible was true. We gave, sacrificed, and did what we were told to do in God's name. And that includes holy wars. That includes all these things in blind faith. And the people that didn't question this kept on doing this. The bloodlust kept going. It was horrible. Then the New Testament, in walks Jesus. That was God in the flesh suit coming into the game, the matrix, if you will, to tell us, listen, you have been under a spell. This other person is not your creator. I am him. I am the trifecta. I am the Trinity. I am the Father. I am the Son, the Ghost. I forget how he said it in the Bible, but he was telling us when he come in. And he was also trying to show us how to sustain, live, be peaceful. He said, be as wise as a snake and gentle as a lamb. And this is the way he was. He wasn't a person who was saying that you needed to give your firstborn. You know, he was not doing these things as the First Testament would have you do. They're two entities. They're not one. And that is my perception. Like, you don't have to agree with me. We're all going through different things right now, and you might not even prescribe to Christianity. But I'm explaining also how some of these MAGAs are lost. These people that wear the red caps, they're lost, and they would rather have their gold and riches in the afterlife, so they don't care what happens to the flesh here. And that means that they don't care what they do to others. So they are, many of them, capitulating or have to younglings being used and treated poorly, like on that island that's been in the stories, with sex abuse and stuff like this. And other things are happening now where people are being stolen from their families, trafficked, and there's slavery actually on the rise. It's getting worse. It is getting worse. And so I felt a strong need to get out here and speak on this. Some people don't know what's going on. I live in a place right now where there is actually a mini civil war happening. And the red cap wearers, the ones that would like to keep perpetuating the sacrifice, the ending, this and that, and the mean, evil, corruption, they are trying to take over the state I am in now. Okay.
March them straight into that dock.
Perhaps it is best that it is not up to you.
Time will tell, Counselor.
Commander, just one more question. Has there been word from Nebuchadnezzar?
None, and at this point, there's no reason to expect that there ever will be.
I mean, isn't it strange
But we can hope.
that we are in this matrix? And then we're given Bibles, we're given, you know, like different books according to which indoctrination we take, right? We're given these spiritual doctrines. But isn't it strange how everything repeats itself through different stories, the words, they sometimes mean the same thing in different languages. Isn't it funny? It's like the Tower of Babel. Everything is like coming into concert. It's all starting to make sense. Things are falling into place. The second page, to infinity and beyond, that's from Buzz Lightyear on Toy Story. Microsoft Windows. And Bill Gates sure does have a lot to do with this too. Trickle-down theory. That's the idea of the reverse Robin Hood. The wealthiest individuals on the planet can take from the poorest. And you believe that the poorest are going to get something in return. It will not happen. It is just a fool's errand to believe in it. Okay, so that was the gematria I got from that. Is there anything that you have a curiosity on gematria you'd like me to check into? And I'm probably going to just talk a little bit and then maybe end this, because I don't know where else to take this, but I thought the matrix might guide me farther since it come on kind of like an extra piece to read from. Yeah, 7 of treasures. That is 7 of pentacles. The matrix is like, it's revolutions. And Saving Private Ryan is on the other side of it, and Strange New Worlds Star Trek is on too. The reason why that is interesting, though, also. Let me check something.
Simple, affordable coverage, because the last thing you leave should be a gift. Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual. jwTV is exploding with free movies. You'll feel the free when one man, one woman, and a group of friends join together to save the world. Summer of Cinema, totally free on jwTV. FBI. There's a story coming. You're about to be swept away.
Matrix, the Matrix Revolutions. It equates in Hebrew 1977. Do you all know that 1977 was the year Star Wars was put out on screen the first time ever? Not 5D. No, if we are released to this place, we will not be in a matrix. We will be free of a matrix. But it's telling me that there's a treasure. There is a lot invested in this matrix. So I got the 7 of coins. There is a lot of invested. So there's a lot of truth in this film.
Nice birdie. Yes, he is a very nice bird.
Okay, in English it's 1728. The opening of the 7 seals. This is serious. This is like our chakras and our connection. We're strung into the matrix with indelible or invisible strings attached to our chakras. Excuse me, they control us in the matrix. They keep us tethered here. The opening of the 7 seals. This film, it is sort of, because it's revolutions, it's the way of saying that our freedom can actually be, I think right now, with what's going on, we are so close to the freedom that we want. I think that right now we're in a serious spiritual warfare, and we're so close to getting freed of this. And it is taking so much tumultuous energy. It's hard, but it's necessary. So it's like, okay, someone's waiting for you. Someone's waiting for you. The seal of a god on their foreheads. This is here for you to find. Bridge Over Troubled Waters, a good song you might want to locate on YouTube. Very powerful. The key that opens all doors. You were chosen for a reason. If you're here listening to this and you're a spiritual person, you were chosen for a reason. He traveled through dimensions. America knows what time it is.
Others not. You're looking at the window. What's going on in there? Whatever it is, it can't be good. The machines are taking things to the way I see it, we drop down from those.
I got the chariot. We are in the chariot season, so we are in the right timeline right now.
Go first and as deep as we can.
I think I'm supposed to be here doing this right now. Even though I wanted to not do this, I did not want to go on audio. I was so against it because of all the interruptions that I have around within and, anytime I record. So if it happens, I guess it has to happen. I'm supposed to be here right now.
There's some chemicals on it. It's impossible to complicate.
I can.
Bullshit.
I've done it.
That was a long time ago now.
I said I can do it.
So what? If you can't even be the only one who can, there's no way we can follow you. Fine. I know time is always against us. I'm sorry that it took so long. But I wanted to be sure.
Neo. He says he knows what he has to do.
I have to take ships. To go where?
That is in the algorithms here. Well, this is in the gematria. He says I have to take one of the ships. And he played the role of what would be like Yeshua or Buddha here.
I still have to go. Never make it in 100 years. No ship has been moving 100 kilometers on it. You'll never make it. I have to try. Is this what the Oracle has told you? This is it. If you want to hear yourself go, do it without wasting one of our ships. You have to believe me. You have to go. Bullshit. I am the captain of this ship. I say where it has to go.
I know, off topic, but it was good to see someone I know watches David. Hey, I tried to find. I'm gonna have to wait because I hope you hear Prob. I'm sorry I didn't see that right away. Eraserhead I saw when I was 19. I think it was a year old by the time I saw it because I saw it on cable. But I remember it was really, really intense, and I meant to watch it again. And every time I catch it, I wanted to get it from the beginning. So I was like, not this time. And I never really went out and rented it or did anything like proactive to see it. I just waited to see if it would show back up again, right? Anyway, I watched the clips today and I looked for it anywhere I could find it. I can't find it anywhere for free right now. But it is quite a lot. He's got his style down. It's the same way. Very similar to his other work. But I'll have to try to locate it. I'll keep my eyes open. Later in the year, we're going to try and get Netflix for just a couple months, but maybe I'll have to hold off and see it if everything is still a-okay around here, right? Lynch was very spiritual himself. Yes, very. And intensely good with symbology. Very good with symbology. There's actually a good video of him talking about consciousness. And in one of his interviews, he said that Eraserhead was one of them. Yeah, I saw the clip. I saw the clip where the spirit was leaving the body. Did you get to see the last season of Twin Peaks? Did you watch any of that? He was very similar in that last season he did on Showtime. If you get a chance, you might actually enjoy it. The TV series he did on ABC years beforehand was very campy, I'll say. He was very deep when he got into the Showtime movie, Fire Walk with Me, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. And that was my introductory mark. My mother had been watching the show and she says, "Oh, have you seen this TV show? It's a soap opera they're showing at night." And I'm like, "No." And I was working, so I couldn't get to it on time. I was closing where I worked at. And so I couldn't get to it on the evenings it was on. And then I got a gift certificate and I went to the record store and I found a VHS, which is old school, right, movie. Anyway, it was the Twin Peaks film. And I'm like, I knew all the people in it. So on the back of the cover, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this and take it home and watch it. And then I didn't know it went to the TV series. And so I was like, okay, now I got to see that. And so I purchased the TV series. Then they come out with a Showtime right around or right before the COVID days. It was hella intense, and it signifies a whole lot to us, more than, like, I don't want to ruin it for you, but just like Eraserhead, there's a lot of very delicate things that, each person may perceive differently, but when people discuss it, like they get into groups and things like that, they can actually enhance what they got from it, and it's very intense. It's definitely something that is worth people talking together about it, though, because everyone's going to get something different out of it. Hey, Carrie, how are you? What time is it? 5? Good morning. Oh, not good morning. Grand rising to you. Grand rising. They tracked that soul afterwards and found it in another galaxy. Yes. I haven't seen Eraserhead in forever, but the guy in it is familiar too. I couldn't tell you who he is, but I think I've seen him in other things. You haven't been to sleep yet? Well, my mother got me hooked in. Well, I hadn't seen it in a long time. She got me hooked back into Highlander. So we started the series together again, and so I forgot some of it. So the next time we see each other, we're watching number 2 in the film, and I completely forgot if is it Duncan and Connor? Carrie, you might know. Wasn't it Connor was the guy who was the first one we meet, and then Duncan was the one who was played by Adrian Paul? I don't know. You might not know the show. But I kept on singing after seeing it. Who wants to live forever? You know, the Queen song. You are so cute. I got 2 sleepy heads over here in the bed next to me. I got to tell you all something funny. So you know that I have a couple magical boys, right? I was laying here on the bed sleeping a couple days ago. I was so out of it. And it was one of those days that I hardly slept because the fireworks are so loud. And these 2 have been just resilient. They're playful. They're very if they have open doors, they know that they got places to go. They feel better. But I'm laying there and I'm out of it, trying to get a few winks of sleep. And all of a sudden, I feel one of them. These guys they're throwers. They'll take their toys like volleyballs and they'll just throw them in the air. I mean, they're funny as you know what. Anyways, they started doing it at each other. And I had to sit up and I started cracking my ass up. I was laughing so hard because the stress that I had had just trying to get away from all that noise, that is what it took. I think they knew what they were doing. They're like, let's get mommy to, cheer up. And so they were so funny. They literally did it like 2 times back and forth. And then when I laughed, I sat up and laughed at them. They stopped. It was too cute though. Trying to figure out where Keith Bennett is. Keith Bennett. Keith Bennett. Is this a person or a place? What do you mean? Hey, Prob, if you'd like me to, I'll pull you a card. Just get you a card for your energy. Carrie, if you'd like me to, I got a deck here. I could do a simple card, just give you an idea what your energy is. If you want, I will let you decide. A child. Something happened to him? Is he okay? Are there whales around there? Like orcas? Does he like the ocean? 1965. Did he go missing around the ocean? Oh, he's on alive? He is on alive. Okay. Is he near the beach or somewhere like that? Interesting. I don't know anything of him. Myra Hensley, Ian Brady. Is that one name or 2? Myra Hensley, Ian Brady.
It's still firing. Must be a fuse. I'll check it out.
Oh, is this... Did they take him? Oh, that is so sad. Oh my gosh. These 2 are frightening. They look like MK Ultra. Oh, that is terrible. I don't really want to read all this, but So you got some information on those. Oh, that is so heartbreaking. That's, you know what? I don't really want to say too much without, I think that I kind of did earlier, but I think that we are in for a bigger story than that. And I'm not trying to say that that is not bad, but right now that orange one, the Cheeto, he's behind all this trafficking, and a lot of children have been stolen from their parents, taken to different places, and we don't know about things. So I suspect that slavery and trafficking is like the highest it's been in modern day, in our faces. It is just horrible. It's horrifying and heart-wrenching. So unless we fight it, unless we as the ones that are here fight it, I don't see it ending anytime soon. This is just a really, really bad time to be here. Did you two have like mediumship come in with this? Did you have the spirits come to you as something like this? Using the pendulums? You've been working on this for 2 weeks? I got that there is many more not found from them. Oh, you're going to need to really, really take a little break from it now and then. That's heavy. That is really heavy. I mean, I commend you for doing that. That is powerful. But try to take care of your psyche too, because that's gonna. Carrie, I got the star card. You are healing something there. I got his card too, the temperance. So you're both here. And the 9 of coral, which is the 9 of cups. Unearthing something that has been in a watery grave. That's what I'm seeing. But please, please, both of you, try to cleanse your energy, like, and take a step back now and then, because, yeah, I saw the devil too, because you are definitely going into some dark energy there. I want to bring him home. I am so sorry. I know that has to be really, really heavy and dark and heartbreaking. This is part of the program that they're putting us into right now. They're entrenching us into anguish and suffering. So he has been alive then. I'm not going to look in the whole thing, so I guess I'm going to just kind of let that be. But he's been alive then, and he's the only living victim. Oh, his remains are missing still. Is that what you're saying? Because I got watery grave, the ocean. Does that sound like it could work? Like fit? I got ocean. I also got orcas. I got coral reefs. Is there a possibility that something like that could be where they need to seek him? Water, large water. Not the ocean. Large water. Are there caves, watery caves around there where there'd be an entry point where the moon would be seen at night through a crack between the two parts that meet on the mountain? Like, I used to go boating and fishing, and there was like a cave, and you come out through the middle of the mouth of the cave, but the two edges at the top, you could see the stars or the moon if it was up there at night. So an open reservoir nearby where I think. I would love to change the title here But I can't do it when I've got my phone popped open like that. So it won't let me. There are deep crevices. Okay, so what I'm getting, and I could be wrong, but you guys could read and do the pendulum on this to see if there's anything to it. What I'm getting is where he's laying at, he can look up, like his remaining memory of what he saw, right? He can look up, and there's like a crevice like you speak of, but the moon would shine through, right through, like a median point where two edges are attached almost, but they're far enough apart. So he could see the light shining down. Also, the watery could be foamy. I don't know. There's something about foaminess. Foamy?
You combed through every last piece of evidence. You made the final, impossible connection. All the while, you were so familiar about, oh, there's more to imagine when you listen.
And there was another boy found near there. You know, see, the thing is, it's really sick, is these people that do these things, a lot of them, I don't know, I would hazard to think that it's almost all of them, but I could be wrong. They have entities that get in there and operate them, and they're the ones doing it. But the meat too, not to sound so derogatory by saying that, but the look, the avatar of what they wear is not really the one doing it, even though they let the individual in them. But what I'm saying is that, yes, those people were horrific that I saw the pictures of, but there are demons that are being hosted there, and their lust is for sacrifice, for ending of lives and torture and things like that. Have you been noticing the Bohemian Grove thing going on here in the US? They took pictures of themselves by themselves. I have the Six of Coral, which is the Six of Wands here, victory. I think you're going to have a victory and find him. Four of Spears. He's waiting to be found. You know, I've got him almost like laying on some kind of substance. Maybe it's leaves or something down on the seabed, or not the ocean, the body of water, whatever it is. There's something down there that he's kind of like on, and he might blend in with. I'm also kind of feeling that it could be that there's something down there that's going to be discovered with him. Like, the timing had to be, I don't know if it's related or unrelated. I kind of feel they're going to discover something else. Maybe, yeah, moss sounds about right. It could be leaves. There's something down there that is vegetation of some kind. Because in the sea world, it would be something else. But if it's not sea, then it's some other kind of substance down there. It could be moss, algae, I don't know. But there's something else down there that is kind of like comforting him, like where he's laying. But he blends in with it too, maybe. So it would take, obviously, a good diver with a good set of eyes down there too, right? I love that. If we have to give him our lives, we give him hell before we have to do it. That's what they said right there. And that means that just because you're supposed to be gentle as a lamb doesn't mean you have to be to the last breath. You could fight for that last victory. That's where we are right now. I hate to say that. I never thought I would live to see it, but then again, I kind of knew it, but not before. I mean, I was like living in a world that I would not have ever guessed this until after, say, 2019. I didn't know what was coming, but something started to speak to me from within from 2019, I would say. We also are working on the World Wide Web. Have you had any information on how far-reaching this Cheeto business is? Because he is trailed around the planet, and it looks like all of the wealthy people on the planet are behind funding some of the atrocities he's doing right here, and he wanted to carry out with Iceland and with Canada. They are egregiously, speaking of having concentration camps all over our country. They say they just started. I think that right now, with jwTV, the one who's the vice, right? Over in Disneyland, he is right now at a jurisdiction. Disneyland is not jurisdiction of America, which means that he can do what he wants to over there. I think that he is looking at places in California to house people. Yeah, I got 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, they're investing in the travesty they're putting us through. Carrie, I don't know if you know how bad it is, but the slavery and the trafficking are off the hook. It is real, and it's in our faces. It is so bad. And where I live, it was blue before all this started up. It was blue, but now they're going red. It's actually, they're going purple, and they're trying to force it red. So they are every night bombarding us with the F works. And it isn't as bad as it was. The 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th, I think it was bad. Let's see, what is today? Losing track of the days because of this. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think it went down to half as much. But it's erroneous. Then they were doing it whether it be day or night, light or dark. Now, you can't tell under... It's kind of masked, muffled. You can't tell if you're hearing F works or G works. You know, the pew, 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 pew. I can't really say here. Yes, he is involved too. Well, you know, the good thing about this is that a lot of people are pretty pissed at him. A lot of those people that believed in him are finally pissed at him, but they need to realize that the entire regime is culpable. They're all evil, and actually both sides are. Until we actually know who all is involved, I don't think we can trust any of it. I think we have to just like scrap the whole system. To be quite honest, justice, yeah, that's the only way to get justice. Yeah, that's what I pulled. I just wanted to say, I don't know if you remember, if anybody here has listened to me, or if they're here listening to me now, they remember me saying that Miss Bondi, who's the Department of Justice lady, she's supposed to be that person. I said I didn't trust her some time back. And I said, there's something about her. I said, but maybe that's all by design. I said, maybe she is actually so loathsome because we're supposed to believe she is, you know what, you know, she's like some kind of evil entity, part of him, right? Maybe she's just doing it to fool him. Maybe the whole system needs to be fooled, and she's a very good actress. There's something about her I did not trust. I did not like. But I said that it could go both ways. I said she's either really good at playing his game and going with him, walking the walk for him, or she's sucker punching him all the way, because I did sense, and I read prior about moles in there. So I kind of wondered if the Patel character was a mole, because he seemed like there's so much about him everybody has critiqued about him. But now I'm almost positive at least one of these people was a mole. I'm not sure how many were. I'm not even sure that I can say the ones I've mentioned are. But if I am correct, then the reading I had was right about the people, the players that were there to take him down. And if so, if it is this Pam character, she, quite interestingly enough, is being the one that everyone's throwing under the bus right now. They're all hating her, and even some have gone as far as saying she was out to get T all along. So if those MAGAs are saying that, that means that she has been an actress the whole time, and she's played it thick with this ass kissing she does with him. We're getting there. The problem is that the MAGAs that are religious are our problem. And the whole world is in danger because of these people. So if anybody is part and party with the Bible, there is a part in the scripture about a mark on the head. It would be the lid. It would be the red cap, a mark upon the head, the forehead. I'm going to get you guys some birdies. It's almost done, honeys. I mean, the film is pretty much a war at this point. I'm going to get you guys some birdies, honeys. Hey, I'd like to thank everyone who has thumbed up and showed up. It has been so nice to see everyone. And I don't know if there's anybody still sitting here that's quiet, but don't feel shy to talk. Go ahead and talk. I have it live streaming. Usually I do quiet because I don't know what's going to happen, and I can quickly do the mic, you know, because like the other morning, it was night actually that time. He was erroneously going through the house and he was getting the munchies. Then after I had to go so fast as I did, it was because he didn't ask me, are you done with the stream? He just went right for the kitchen, and he was like after the 10 or the metal. And so everyone's ears would have been completely at mercy of hearing him go through the kitchen, crashing through the cookware. So yeah, my stream went for 4 hours. I did not anticipate it'd be that long. I did not think he'd be that hungry either. But he certainly was. But now we have birdies. We have pigeons, actually. That's what I'm seeing here. Can I find out anything about this man? Who is this young man who is laid to an end? Can you give me a clue? The second time I got it, I got the Knight of Coral. The Knight of Wands. There could be a tree nearby. So I don't know if you can, you and your guy can like check with your pendulum cards to just check into trees and moss. I'm wondering if there is a nearby tree that when the fall season, maybe it would mark the trees, the leaves would fall. They might not be seasonal where that happened at. And I'm going to have to find a way into my account to speak to the YouTube people. I might have to dump my other accounts, like do a system restore on my phone or something, because it won't let me log in. It is so bizarre. It won't let me log in, and I want to try and get into that account so that we can get the live stream going over at Bunny Blades. I have the moon. What is the moon? Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. Somebody has a happily ever after coming for them. I'm starting to hear some kind of... Did anybody hear that? With the birdies, you might not have been able to hear it. Hopefully the boys, I think they noticed it. But like I said, they're not as skittish. Except for my one guy. His ears are like, who the hell are you saying that about? He says, I know. I hear it. It's okay, baby. You got a squirrel on TV there. Your squirrel would not be eating nuts there if there was anything going on out there, would they? You guys are okay. Okay, so the stories that I had to share were of Baltimore, Maryland. And the Gators. Let's see what else I can get real quick. I might use audio. I'm trying to find one of my bookmarks or my playlists. Okay, and I'm going to just play a little piece of this video, and I will leave info on it after, but it is Japan and things going on there.
Ripped open the ocean floor with an earthquake-style crack. This is coming from the University of Texas Institute for Geophysics, and we're going to go into all this information here with you live, citing all the sources. The first time scientists witnessed an undersea slip earthquake unzip. We're going to get to all the different information and everything else coming out right now. But first, I'm going to show you just a clip of what Japan Meteorological Agency saw in Japan currently happening as we speak. So multiple floods hitting them big time, and the reason why we're showing that because the Texas Institute for Geophysics actually goes into where this rupture is at. It goes into warning zones, so you're gonna want to see all that. Also, I have footage of what the U.S. military did, and if you want to see that, let me know. Say yes in the chat right now. If not, I'll just break down the information. We'll go. Okay, you can catch that video at jwTV. I'll try to include this in the description so you could head over there. After the video is done, I'll have to put it out there, but right now I can't. So if there's any truth going on with that, also there is another clip or two that I want to put out. There was something I wanted you to hear, but okay. So previously I read on the Prime Minister in Malaysia making a deal with Italy. However, or was it Spain? I think it was Italy. However, now France met with, well, let me put this out. I think there's an audio on here. Let me just.
Je sais tout particulièrement l'émotion suscitée en Asie du Sud-Est.
It's in French. Shoot, does me no good. That was Associated Press. I don't know. You could probably look into finding the article and maybe getting subtitle on that or something. There is a lot of information coming out on Malaysia, and I got the Prime Minister, and that is what we pulled. I did it on the other channel. I may have to look into it a little deeper, but I'll get the headlines on it and see what we can gather and follow up on that a little more too. David Lynch, David Bowie. Okay, I put that in there, and somehow it got lost in the sauce. I asked in the David Bowie question what was in common. There was a clip I lost. YouTube will not let me share clips. So I created a clip of the song by David Bowie called Blue Jeans. If you get a chance to see it, David Bowie is portraying himself as twins. He's a genie on stage, and he is a man who is hopeless next to a woman trying to get into a bottle of champagne, I believe it was. Anyway, so he's twins. The Gemini man, the Gemini slant, twinning, okay? This isn't about twin flames, okay? Mind you, that does play a role. But the twin slant, David Lynch used Twin Peaks for a reason. So there's a lot more to David Bowie than most people believe and understand. But if you get a chance to watch the music video he did, I think the right to the last one to his end of his life, he did Lazarus Man. Lazarus Man. That is, I think, means the man who rises from the end or something like this. I forget what Lazarus. You find out what it means. It's in the Bible, though. And also, he has a story about why his one eye is not the same as the other as far as the color goes. But it makes me wonder if he was affected by, and he's just given us a cover story, by the vril. He's a fantastic artist. I've always loved him. I'm not trying to put shade on him at all. He is a Capricorn. He is actually the flip side of Elvis. They were both very famous in their own right. Elvis was the prince, or if you will, music, the king of music, right, in America. And David Bowie was in England at that time, right, to some level. Lazarus is any poor and visibly diseased person, one deformed and nauseous with filth and pestilence diseases. The name from Greek rendition of Hebrew Elazar, literally he whom God has helped. It can also be a leper, filthy beggar. The song come out right before the COVID era. So when everybody would be thinking, like, in terms of, like, say, Deuteronomy in the Bible, like, don't touch me, you have filth, you carry disease, you're this, you're that, you know? So this is kind of like the leprosy time, the leprosy colony. And they're unleashing things here in America right now with all these different you know, the islands that they do their tinkering on, right? I'm trying to think of the terminology. And I did my research, and I was trying to look farther into what we had on the MyLabs, right? And they had the swamp MyLab that they did not want me to see. So if you know what I'm speaking of, my machine was told your tablet will be compromised if you look at this. And so they wouldn't let me look at it. And I was actually quickly removed from that ability to see that. I was like zeroed out, like almost like it was like the MI5, you know, the Men in Black, when they come at you and they put the zapper light or whatever on you and they make you have amnesia. Kind of like that. They wanted to zap me out of it. I don't have any knowledge of the swamp MyLab. Okay, this happened, and when Cheeto was running, he was instigating this whole thing of we're going to drain the swamp, when he is the actual effing swamp himself. Always has been, but it's just taken eyes to see it. The thing is, the swamp, going to the alligators, this is getting incredibly crazy how symbology and also right in plain sight everything is. Thinking about the reptoids, the Dracos, the reptilians, you know, all these things. And going back to Phil Schneider and how he went into, I'm not going to take this total topic there, but I'm just saying that things are starting to come to light for us. So yes, the last video David Bowie did, Lazarus Man, had something to say about the flavor of where we were going and how we were going back, and we are kind of like creatures that are being tinkered with, because they showed this girl dancing and her tail coming out of her nightgown. So it was bizarre in itself, but that is what it is. And I'm not going to go on to, so this is not really a topic. It's a little bit of a lot of talking about a lot of things. The meat and the potatoes is we are right now at the precipice of something that we need to get ourselves free of. We are humanity, but we truly are more than we think. We are truly much more than we think. And we have to emancipate ourselves from the hell that they have entrenched us into. This is not where we belong. We were stolen. We were trafficked. That's the other thing. Many of us don't even understand this, but some of us do. We are asleep. We are not aware. It's like fireflies out in the forest, out in the meadows, and they're flying and they're enjoying. They're captivating with nature. They're entrenched with the nature. You know, that's where they belong. They're free. They're expressive. They're lighting up. They're beautiful. But what happens when a child or a man or a woman or anybody comes and takes a jar and they screw the lid on some of these fireflies? They're stealing them. They're stealing them from their nature. This is what is happening now, but it's not the first time. Not just our ancestors, but when we first come here, it's because that old dragon fell. He fell and he didn't want to be here alone. He wanted to play with God's creations. They weren't his creations, but he wanted to take them as his own. It is his playground, and we are believing that the material world is of God's world, but it isn't. This here matrix is not of God's world. God isn't even a word I usually use. I don't like using that word. I don't like using the word Lord, our creator, our divine maker, our true parent, if you will. The first, the one that created us, okay? Progenitor. So there are some things about Satan's little season that I want to dive into at a later time. There are a lot of things here that I was going to dive into. I've been bouncing around a little bit, mostly because I go off into different venues because of what's delivered upon my eyes or my ears, or people show up and I get into conversation. So I'm going to have to make some notes. I'm going to have to get some things to direct me for the next live stream where we're all together. But Satan's little season is one thing that I want to talk about. And it has to do with America, 1776. I might just give you a little taste with gematria real quick. Actually, they're telling me I gotta wait. So the Matrix Revolutions, it equates to Star Wars 1977. Hebrew gematria, not the words, okay, mind you, the year. What happened in the year 1977? Well, Star Wars come out. But before I go, I'm going to tell you what else happened in 1977 because it relates to that last film that I just saw of The Matrix just now. Okay, George Lucas put out the year was Star Wars' first year on purpose. The dragon was the beginning of the saga we're living in now. We also had the prequel season, which would have been like the ox, the rat, you know, the lab year, the year where we hear about all the illness and everything was the rat year. All these years kind of piggybacked into where we are now, where we've come from. So the dragon year was last year, 1977 was the dragon year as well. It was a fire dragon year. Okay, so that would, for me, denote that maybe that was the beginning. Some people say 2000, some people say 1776, the beginning of America. But if it was Star Wars, we were an enlightened people when Star Wars was unleashed on the planet. When people started seeing that story, we were enlightened in a way we never had been prior. Yes, there were a lot of people who were well-read, understanding. They'd had other things that had shown them things. Star Wars was a totally different animal. So the year would have been, in the Chinese calendar, 4674 or 40 to 4467. The event in 1977, I'm going to read through this and then I'm going to go. So I don't know if I've bored everybody, but I'm just going to put content here. If you want to sleep with this through the night or you want to speed it up to get some of the data, there may be something important here later that you might find. I'll try to take notes if I can to put that in the description for you at a later time if you decide to drop in. I really appreciate each of you who have had time to stop in and say hello and talk and mingle a little bit. But here are the events from 1977, which was a dragon year, the fire dragon year. January 8th, there were 3 bombs that exploded in Moscow within 37 minutes. Now, 37 is Jesus' number. Killing 7, that is a God number, okay? The bombings are attributed to an Armenian separatist group. So there was like a lot of political theater going on January 8th of that year. That was also, I think it was both David Bowie and Elvis's birthday, right? Yeah, because I was actually, interestingly enough, I dated a Mason. I grew up knowing a Mason who is born on that day too. Okay, January 10, there was a little bit more political stuff going on. I'm just going to kind of go through this and I'm not going to read it aloud, all of it. You're welcome to look too. January 19. Oh, wait. No, wait. I'm going to back up just a minute. The 18th. I really need to read more than I thought I needed to. Okay, so we're going to skip the 10th. We're going to go to the 17th. 49 Marines from the USS Trenton and USS Guam are killed as a result of a collision in Barcelona harbor in Spain. 49. That goes back to latter. January 17. January 18, scientists identify a previously unknown bacterium as the cause of the mysterious Legionnaire's disease. So they were getting kind of into some of that kind of stuff at that point too. Australia's worst railway disaster at Granville, a suburb, excuse me, I'm reading off today. I don't know what's happening to me. Of Sydney leaves 83 people dead. Yugoslavia. Prime Minister 𝗕𝗹𝗵, I'm probably butchering his name. 𝗕𝗹𝗵, his wife and 6 others are killed in a plane crash in Bosnia. So that was like a ritual, I'm sure, KILLING, ritual, or somebody wanted to take that seat of control, that power. Something there. I don't know what happened there personally, but it does look kind of strange. There's another prime minister being mentioned. January 23rd, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi of India calls for fresh elections to the Lok Sabha and releases all political prisoners. Okay, you know what? We're in the year of the snake right now. We just now finished up the dragon before February. So I kind of wonder if there's some mimicry going on here. Some of these stories may be similar and or they could repeat. I don't know. There is something here that's kind of feeling like that to me. We have February 3. The northern Japan area, there was a blizzard pile, snow on rooftop, causing many to collapse, killing at least 31 people. The 4th, there were commuters killed when an elevated train derailed from the loop in central Chicago. 11, they spelt it out. They did not give a number. They say 11. CTA commuters, 11. February 7th, the Soviet Union launches Soyuz 24, Viktor Gorbachev, Yuri Glaskov, to dock with the Salyut 5 space station. Let me fast forward to now, to July. July, Europe faced some record heat, 118.4 Fahrenheit. A record for continental Europe is recorded in Greece. Somalia on July 13th declared war on Ethiopia, starting the Ethio-Somali War. New York City is affected by a complete electricity blackout. Now, I think that's when the Summer of Sam occurred. Anybody here maybe could let me know if they recognize that date. July 13, 1977. I think it may have been the year of Summer of Sam. Then I'm trying to remember when Star Wars was released because I'm not seeing it here yet. Let me see. So we just now did up until current time. And maybe they're playing a Mandela on me. I don't know because I remembered it being 77. I saw it in the theater. I watched it over and over that year. Yeah, I'm not finding it at the wiki page, but it was 77 according to wiki page here. The epic space opera media franchise created by George Lucas, which began with the eponymous 77 film and quickly became a worldwide pop culture phenomenon. The franchise has been expanded into various films and other media. Now, I'm trying to find something on just Star Wars, the original work. Let me see here. May 25, 77. So that's 5777. They made a film called 52577. Interesting. Okay, it's the 145th day of the year. What happened that day? Here we go. Vintage news, the top thing that you get will be Star Wars. A New Hope. And so apparently they purposely did do it the way they did it in the order they did it. Because it's like the fourth of the books, right? Four, I think. A New Hope. So one final look, just real quick. I'm going to type in A New Hope. That was the book Star Wars is based. A New Hope. So in Jewish, which is so funny, it said Hebrew yesterday, or the other time. Now it says Jewish. What am I doing? Going through timelines? Okay, so now it says Jewish. It doesn't say Hebrew. So you tell me what's going on here. And this is the gematria here. It says in the Jewish, it is 1069. In the English, it is 522. So it equates in Jewish, which is Hebrew, download 3 days of darkness. Matrix simulation, the singularity, 1,000 years, which is an homage of speaking on that one deviled dude that I talked about from the first book of the Bible, if you will. The absolute truth, Vesica Pisces. We're just going to go one page deep. I'm not going to read a lot on this one. Okay, so now we're going to look at English, and it says Bill Gates, it says truth, Russia, stellar, 12, nothing, justice, victor. Omicron. David Bowie was in that video game, Omicron. Interesting connection there. Project, manifest, flight manifest. I'm thinking a list, Jeffrey Epstein's list. A New Hope, birth date, Lotus, Clinton, scapegoat, Noah's Ark, person, Yeshua. 90, birthday again, democracy, company, red folder, a red folder. So the manifest and the red folder could be synonymous. There could be something to do with what we're doing here with the information that isn't being given to us. We have priest, we have fallout, elemental, artist, different, tornado, blessing, Gnostic, timeline, architect. Remember when I said that I turned the TV on and I wonder if the architect put me there? The matrix showed right up when I got in here. So that was an interesting little piece there. We got Puff Daddy here, Gladiator, and Potato. That is about what I have. What was that old toy, that Mr. Potato Head? Anybody ever play with a potato head, Mr. Potato Head? They used to tease about the poor people, how they would have to make the potato head, I guess, in the way back days. They would put the eyes in there somehow. I don't know. Anyway, I had the plastic toy, so I wouldn't know. But I'm going to be on my way out. I've enjoyed every bit of this, but I'm feeling better. So if anyone's worried about that, I'm fine. The noise has been kind of low here. I got the birdies here from my boys, so I think we're okay right now. I hope you're well where you are. Be careful where you are. Keep your head up, your eyes open. Just always be aware. Rest if you need your rest. Take good care of yourself. Listen to your body. Okay. This is Deja Vu. I'm out for now.